everyone, this is Brooke, and we are back with the On the Bias series. So far, we have covered the reactance effect, fluency shortcuts, sunk cost fallacy, and most recently, choice overload. This is actually the last one in the series for 2023, so I hope you've been catching up on all of them. You can always find them in Spotify or on my website, brooketully.com. So let's start with the story. This one's about a real pain in my side. So I started to notice a pain in my right side around the lower rib cage early last year. Figuring that I may have pulled something during my workouts, I pulled back on those exercises to let the self-diagnosed injury heal itself. But the pain persisted and got worse at times, waking me in the middle of the night. And after dealing with this constant pain for nearly a year, it was time for me to realize that it wasn't going away on its own. I needed to get professional help. Luckily, I had started following a physical therapist on Instagram who frequently shared exercises for reducing neck and back pain and was available for online sessions. We held an initial consultation in early December, in which he was able to identify the root cause of my pain and recommend a mobility program to get me back on track. I was delighted to hear that a solution to my pain may be within reach, and I expressed my enthusiasm to the physical therapist. He asked, "When do you want to get started? This week?" as any good coach or trainer would. And I responded with, how about the second week of January? A full 6 weeks later. So what's happening here? Why on earth would I endure another 6 weeks of pain if a solution was right in front of me? It was not because I would be traveling during the December holidays, nor was it a budget issue. It was because of the fresh start effect. In my mind, I needed to start this program at the beginning of the new year. Starting something new in December just didn't sit right with me. Is this rational? No, not at all. But welcome to the world of cognitive biases. So let's look at this on the bias. We often prefer to use the start of a new time period to set goals and attempt new behaviors. These fresh starts can be the beginning of a new year, the start of a new week even, the changing of seasons, or more personal milestones like birthdays and anniversaries. The days we choose may seem arbitrary on paper. Right? Is starting a new practice on a Monday really any different than starting it on a Friday? It's just another day of the week. But they represent significant milestones for us. In their research paper on the fresh start effect, Dai et al. Suggest that time markers help us divide the year into distinct periods in which we can create a pause to reflect upon the previous period, move on from things that didn't go well, think about the big picture, and plan ahead. So let's bring this bias closer to home. Think of an example when you have pushed the start of a new endeavor to a specific time marker, like a new week or month, or a particular milestone like an anniversary or seasonal solstice. Consider why those moments felt like a fresh start to you. What factors made you feel more ready and capable to start or restart something on that day? And do you think you could conjure those feelings on an alternate day if you had to? And just as a reminder, Monday is always right around the corner if that helps with future fresh starts. Let's look at how this bias can help or hurt our behavior change programs. In the previous few posts, we have started with how it hurts, but this time we're going to start with how it helps. So we're going to start on the brighter side today. And I think we all know this by now. Motivating people to do something is hard. I mean, heck, motivating ourselves to do something is hard. The fresh start effect helps our audience pick an upcoming time marker to start a new practice. And we can help audiences do this in a few different ways. First, we can encourage our audience to select that future time, to get started. And this provides them with several benefits beyond just the fresh start effect. It prompts them to make a commitment to a new behavior. Commitments can be quite powerful. It helps them prepare for that next chapter, so kind of mentally get ready for it. And it takes the immediate pressure off of them, which otherwise could produce the reactance effect, which we covered earlier in this series. An alternative approach, your outreach efforts could recommend a specific day or moment to start that new behavior. So Meatless Mondays is a great example of this. In fact, the organization behind Meatless Mondays has an entire Monday campaign series utilizing the fresh start effect to address different health behaviors that people may want to start. A few weeks ago in this series, we explored the sunk cost fallacy, which is the bias of pursuing a path we've invested time, effort, and money into, even when a better alternative exists. One of the solutions for helping audiences let go of sunk costs is to align the new behavior with the fresh start effect. So our designated fresh start moments actually permit us to turn over a new leaf without shame or guilt. Think of Marie Kondo in this instance. This project or habit no longer sparks joy. I'm going to let go of it and start something new. Now, on the other side of the coin, let's look at how this bias can hurt our behavior change efforts. And truthfully, my personal story that I shared earlier exemplifies how this bias can work against us. Sometimes audience members will delay the start of a new behavior too far into the future, almost in search of like a perfect quote-unquote start date. A long waiting period creates a risk that their intentions will change during that time. Or, they'll simply get distracted by daily life and forget to act. If you sense this is happening, you can suggest a closer fresh start date while emphasizing the benefits the audience will gain by starting sooner rather than later. Now, 2024 is coming up soon, and you can build this strategy into your end of year and even your start of year outreach efforts to encourage more people to set goals and adopt new planet-friendly behaviors with this upcoming fresh start effect in front of us. A note of caution, I include this in every post. At the start of January, your social media feeds will be inundated with articles claiming that New Year's resolutions don't work. I roll on that. These are oversimplified clickbait headlines. But there is a note of caution to consider with both the fresh start effect and New Year's resolutions. And that's what motivates someone to start a new behavior will not be enough to keep them going. Additional motivators must be added to our outreach mix to help the audience sustain what they've started. And I have a separate blog on that topic. It's a slightly older blog from a few years ago that can give you tips on how to do that. And the blog is called Starting versus Sustaining Behavior Change Efforts. In the written version of this post, you can find a link to that to read it further. Well, that's it. This wraps up our 2023 On the Bias series. I hope you've enjoyed learning about one of the many ways we're wired. And you can find all the 2022 and 2023 On the Bias posts on my website and using the link version in this written post. I really hope that you've enjoyed this series. I love talking about it. We will probably continue it in 2024. So I look forward to seeing you then, and I hope you have a great rest of the end of your year and a great fresh start effect in 2024. Take care.